Buenos dias. Safe practices are in order. Don't forget to wear your face mask, social distancing, and don't forget also wash your hands front, back, soap and water, sanitize. Buenos dias, niñas. Buenos dias, tío, tía, abuelo, abuela. Buenos dias a todos. So we are now in Noviembre. So we will in Septiembre, Octobre, Noviembre, right? So girls, the 1st of November, we celebrate All Saints, and then also some of you must have went to light your relatives' graves, say a little bit of prayers, right? And all that is great. But I want to highlight saints, right? So in our school, we have saints. We have different houses and we all belong to them. But have you ever wondered who they were? Where did they come from? What's so significant or one significant thing about them? So today's lesson, we are going to look at that. So let me first share my screen. Okay, so we are going to look at our saints from our school and their quotes, right? So the first saint we are looking at is Saint Catherine of Siena, right? First of all, do you know where Siena is? Cienza, right? She was, she's known as Catherine of Siena, but she was born in Cienza, Italy. All right. For those of you who don't know where Italy is, it's halfway across the world in Europe. And this looking like a high heel shoe, that's Italy. She's a patron saint of students, unmarried girls, and apologists. She is known as one of the leading women who were named Doctor of the Church. So when we meaning Doctor of the Church, she held on to she also contributed a lot to the Catholic doctrines, and she was known as one of the first women to have that sort of say in Catholic doctrine. So, and her feast day is celebrated on November the 25th, right? I got these images. I know that you all are very much into this sort of animation, but this image shows you a little bit about her. So here is her book, which contributes to the Catholic doctrines of the church. She was also a nun. Also, that flower she holds in her hand, you see many saints holding that flower. It's a symbol of purity and a symbol of being chosen. Okay? All right. This is one of her quotes. Be who God has created you to be, and you will set the world on fire. What I like about learning about saints and people in general is what words did they leave behind? And is it something that I can ponder about and inspire me? So I did some research and I found that this was really inspirational. So those girls who are in St. Catherine's house, you normally wear green, right? I want you to focus on words that inspire you in this quote. For me, I found that these words inspired me. The be, God, you, world, and fire. And I found this quote was really relevant for today because we are in the middle of a huge change. And girls, you are part of that change and you are part of making this world go in a very positive way. When we say on fire, we want to burn in the right direction. We want to burn for growth. We want to burn for positivity. So one of St. Catherine's, her famous quotes were, be who God has created you to be, and you will set the world on fire. I want you to observe also how the words were placed. Now, if you want to rearrange the words in a different format, in terms of making it a two long sentences, fine. But artistically, I found this was really interesting. So you will see St. Catherine's image like this. You will see it in books. This is the image of St. Catherine. Notice the book that she has, which is a Catholic book, a Bible on Catholic doctrine, and that symbolical flower. Also, saints were also observed with this halo. Notice the halo of thorns, love of God, love of Jesus, right? And pointing, and they always, in her doctrines and saints, they always point you to Jesus. So saints are extraordinary in the lives that they live. But that life was not only on themselves. It was not on themselves. It was in a way of pointing you into direction to Jesus. The next saint we are looking at, we are all familiar with Saint Joseph. Saint Joseph was born in Bethlehem, and he is the patron saint of workers. His feast day is in the month of March. For those of you, a lot of you, I'm sure we're always hearing about Bethlehem. We don't know where Bethlehem is. So here's Trinidad, a little dot. And right across the world, we're going through Italy right now. We just came from Italy, right north of Africa, Egypt, right? This is Bethlehem, and we can see it a little better. So this little area, Italy, right? The sea there is called the Mediterranean Sea. We just came from Italy. So now we are going straight across. If we were to fly from Italy straight across to Bethlehem, right? So we have Egypt, Israel, see, Israel is a big, big, big landmass. Jordan, Syria, right? Right and smack in the middle is Bethlehem, the home of Joseph's birth. Saint Joseph. He's the patron saint of all workers, and his feast day is in March. And again, we see Saint Joseph with the same flower, that symbol of lily, right? And he was the father of Jesus. One of his sayings are, we are born to love, we live to love, and we die to love, still to love more, right? I use the color orange, not yellow. If you're using yellow, outline in black because it does not show more. It does not show up. All right? So the saying for Saint Joseph is, we are born to love, we live to love, and we die to love, still love more. And that's what Joseph did. Joseph loved, even though he was afraid at first, he chose to love. All right? And that's the picture we normally see of Saint Joseph with the child Jesus and that flower, that branch of lilies, right? And that's the symbol of the chosen one. Notice also there's a halo around reflecting that he's a saint. Next, we have Saint Maria Goretti. Saint Maria Goretti, also born in Italy, right? We just came from Bethlehem, which is across here. Now we go across to Italy, right? Or Nalido, Italy. And she was the patron saint of chastity, rape victims, girls, young teenage girls, poverty, purity, and forgiveness, right? So her feast day is the 6th of July, right? She's also one of the youngest saints thus far, but I'm sure there are some of you, I'm sure there will be another girl aspiring to be a saint. A saint is somebody who just, every waking moment, every moment that they're alive, they think about God and they think about their lives are for God, for Jesus, living that life, okay? So when we talk about a patron saint, sometimes you might be able to look at a saint and learn from her, right? Learn from him or her. And one of her famous quotes is, he loves, he hopes, he waits. Our Lord prefers to wait for the sinner for years rather than keep us waiting in an instant. So that is her famous quote, which shows how much how patient God is with us. No matter how many times we do things to offend him, God does not stop loving us. And if you were to go to Italy, you would see the embalmed body right in Rome of Maria Goretti. It is still intact. Isn't that amazing? Again, look at her with the flower, hand over chest, and she's so young. She's one of the youngest saints. Well, I heard there's another young man who recently died and they've been canonized as a saint. So Maria Goretti is one of our young saints in our group that we're looking at today. Next, we look at Saint Teresa of Lisieux. She was born in France. So we move from Italy across to France. Italy and France are quite near to each other. Her feast day is October the 1st. She's a patron saint of, ooh, I didn't put that down. She's a patron saint of um, flowers, innocence. I'm sorry, I missed that one out. First saying is that nothing is small in the eyes of God. Do all that you do with love. All right. So my thing was given a little bit of trouble. So you use your blue to highlight what it is you want. Okay, so let's go back to me. All right, girls. So we all belong to houses at St. Joseph Girls RC. So we have St. Catherine, we have St. Joseph, St. Teresa, and St. Maria Goretti, and we are all in our 4 house colors. You are going to use the quotes that I gave you. I have arranged it in an order, but if you feel you want to arrange the words in an artistic form, fine, right? I want you, so you know which house you're in, and you are going to choose how you want to place the words. That's fine. All right. Now, the words that you want to highlight, that means that touch you in some way, you're going to outline it in your house colors. So the house colors are yellow. Now, with yellow, there's a problem because of the white background. You have to outline it in black. All right. Outline it in black. You could write it in yellow, outline it in black. Or you can have it in black and put a yellow glow around it. You are going to design, but I must see your house color with it. Okay? Also, I gave these cute little icons. I know it's very similar to anime. I know a lot of you are drawing that. Draw the icons because the icons are reflective of these saints and who they were and what were their trademarks. Okay? So I am going to show you what I did. Okay? And I did not choose a color blue, yellow, green, red because I didn't want to be biased. So I chose my favorite saint and my favorite color. So let's get back to the PowerPoint. All right, that's Saint Teresa. So my favorite saint is Saint Francis of Assisi. And it is so amazing. Sometimes you read people's lives and you don't even realize how your lives are so similar. So St. Francis of Assisi was born in Italy, Assisi, Italy. He's a patron saint of environmentalists, ecologists, and animals. His feast day is in October, which is so iconic because I love the environment. My birthday is in October. How coincidental is that? So his quote is, start by doing what is necessary, then what possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible. And I think that is one of my mottos too. It's better to be doing than not doing at all. So by doing, you choose to do what is necessary, you prioritize. And then when you start and suddenly you have achieved it. Okay, so again, so my saying is start by doing what's necessary, then what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. And that's one of the pictures of St. Francis and how all the animals are interacting with him. Notice the environment is totally green and blue. You know, he is all for how whatever we do, we try to save our environment. And that's exactly how I feel as well. That's my passion and my love of life and animals. So you are going to use your normal handwriting script, but we're going to add some flair to it. So I chose this font and I also chose this. So you can use whichever one. Is not much different from how you normally write. Okay? So the first thing you're going to do is put your paper on portrait, right? Let me just show you. Remember, this is what portrait means. All right? You put it on portrait and you line your page. You line it with a pencil lightly to how many lines you want. So here you can see I have line 1, line 2, 3, 4, a small one, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 lines because I planned that with my little quote, it's fitting in 7 lines and I put it in the center. I want my words to be in the center. Oh, and I want your words to be in the center as well. Now I drew lightly, okay? So I wrote the words lightly here. Notice it is written in script, okay? Script means it's not join up, right? Script is what we first started to learn how to write. Bearing this in mind, I kept looking at this. I chose the words I wanted my swirls on, other words that struck a note with me. I also looked at these because I could have also coined a few of this. Right. So from here, I added the words that mean a lot to me. I added my swirls wherever necessary. All right. Once I am finished and I was satisfied, I use a normal blacking pen. Normal blacking pen. Okay. Some of you, when you become artists, yes, you can use your artistic pen. But I use a normal ink pen, blacking ballpoint pen. If you have a gel pen, better yet. All right. So I traced over what I found was necessary. Notice too how my letters stayed on the line. You can see the line. My letters are the same height. My short letters are the same height. Tall letters the same height. If you want, you could also draw a guideline in the middle here so that you can keep your letters in the same height. Okay? And I outlined my image. When we draw in pencil, we ink it over. All right? Right. Once I was satisfied, I gently erased my work. I prefer the use of this eraser, a white eraser. White because it does not leave a color. White also, it really rubs off all the pencil marks. All right. Then my favorite color was teal. Wait, did I tell you about the wash? Let me see. Oh, I forgot about the wash. Sorry about that. So my border, I used the color teal and I painted it with a wash. A wash, remember girls, means more water, less paint. I wanted it to be very light. So I did a wash around my work because I didn't want that stark white. I wanted some color and I didn't choose blue or red or green or yellow because I wanted to be neutral, okay? So I choose teal, which is also my favorite color. All right. Right. So my white eraser erased all my pencil. Then I started the coloring process. Okay. All right. So let's get back to stop share. Where are you? Right. So let me show you my work now. So this is my work, right? You can see from here, let me hold it back a bit, right? So you can see from here, right? This is my wash around it, okay? The words that I found struck a chord with me was start, what's necessary, and suddenly doing the impossible. I chose those words to highlight and I highlighted it by coloring it. Okay. I also put down the name of the saint, Saint Francis of Assisi. He quoted this. I drew Saint Francis. He loves animals, and I included it anywhere. Okay, so this was my design. So what you are going to do for me, your house, I gave you the quote, I gave you the imagery. You can choose, you can choose from the fonts that I gave you to embellish the words that you made that you did. Embellish means to decorate more. So you're using normal script. And the embellishments is swirls, right? When you're finished and you're satisfied, use a black ink pen and ink it. Black. I prefer black, not blue. Black. All right? When you're completed with that now, I want you to wash it. A wash is more water, less paint. So you're not having that heavy color, you're having that light color. So again, you're doing a wash, more water, less paint around the border, the edges. So it gives not that stark white, you have a little color. Then when you're finished with the words, you are going to, you're going to draw the image too. I gave you those simple imagery, those are anime. Some of you might want to add more. Fine, you do what you want. So you're designing, but within parameters. Okay? All right, girls. So have fun. And when you're doing it, girls, too, see how the words touch you. That was the words of another person, the saint of your house. In what way did those words touch you in a way that you can reflect at yourself and see, wow, does this mean anything to me? Can I take a page out of this person's book? Also, what I enjoyed about it is like, look at how these saints, we were able to have them as our houses, chosen for our houses, and they were chosen as mentors for us young women. All right. And in what way can it inspire you to be a saint? Because all of us have to try to be a saint. We are all faced with challenges, but we keep our eyes on God and focus on how to please Him, how to be right with Him, how to get that grace and that strength to do what's right with Him. And one of my favorite words, the words my mother taught me, and it's in scripture, I can do all things with Christ who strengthens me. So, girls, that ends today's session. All right. Have fun. I look forward to seeing your work. Remember when you're going out, right, to put on your face mask. It is now the new normal. Also, don't forget to wash your hands properly. Soap goes all between your fingers, back and front. All right. And don't forget your social distancing. All right. Okay, girls. Adios.